Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Monatui, coach of the Tampa Bay Luxrays, and today I'm bringing you guys week 1 of the NPL Minors. If you guys don't know what's going on here, a little while ago we participated in the NPL Minors tournament, where basically, if you did well enough as a coach, you would be put into the actual NPL Minors. We ended up making it to the semifinals, where we ended up losing to actually our opponent, being Uzi Gunner. Speaking of which, definitely check out his YouTube link in the description below. He's a pretty cool dude. But anyway, he ended up knocking us out. It was a game I definitely should have won, but I choked twice, and Uzi capitalized on my misplays, so he definitely deserved to win. I definitely did not deserve to win whatsoever, and he ended up actually winning the whole tournament. So congratulations to him, and at least I can say that I lost to the champion. So with that being said, I apologize that, first of all, I apologize that this game is a day late. If you've been following the other NPL coaches, you know that upload day was on Thursday. And this is going up on Friday, or at least it should go up on Friday. Hopefully it's not going up on Saturday. But also, I apologize that there's no draft analysis. I really just don't have the time to do one right now. But for the next video, for my Week 2 team builder, I will be going over my entire team in full. As kind of like a very quick, very short draft analysis type thing, trying to get you guys familiarized with the team that I decided to draft. I know you guys don't know like what the other 6 Pokemon I have. I will be going over that in the next video, or in the next team builder, which I do plan on doing. I do plan on doing team builders for this league. NPL Minors is a very serious league. NPL, in my personal opinion, is one of the most competitive leagues that there is, and so I would really like to get to the top of NPL Minors so that I can be promoted into the actual NPL. But with that being said, let's just get into the game. Let's get into the team preview here. As you can see, Uzi has his Greninja, that's Torrent Greninja, his Heracross, Bronzong, Victini, Mega Venusaur, and his Salamence. On my side of the field, we have a Choice Banded Tapu Bulu. We also have a Choice Banded Zygarde 10%. We have a specially offensive Stealth Rocking Sugarberry Heatran. We have a relatively standard Curslax. We have a physically defensive Combine Reuniclus with Psyshock and Energy Ball just to hit his Greninja. We have our then specially defensive Mandibuzz, which is kind of meant to take on a couple different things on his team. It takes on the Greninja pretty well, it takes on the Heracross pretty well. Really, if I keep this thing healthy, it has the potential to wall almost the entirety of his team. Like, it stops Victini, can stop Salamence, it kind of doesn't stop Venusaur, but it kind of like pivots into Venusaur, and then I can U-turn out and send something else out to deal with Venusaur. But regardless, let's just get into the game. I am going to lead with my Mandibuzz, as he is going to lead with his Mega Venusaur. I'm just going to go for the U-turn here, just to see, for one, if he outspeeds me and if I'm going to get a slow U-turn off, or if I outspeed him. As you can see, I outspeed him, which means that my Heatran is going to have to take the knockoff instead of my Mandibuzz, which is totally fine. Heatran's main job this game is to just get up Stealth Rocks. It can kind of stop the Victini, but like I said, getting up Stealth Rocks are going to be very useful because it doesn't look like he has a Hazard Remover unless the Salamence is running Heat Fog. As you can see here, I'm going to switch out into my Mandibuzz. He makes a good prediction and goes for the Draco Meteor, but unfortunately he ends up missing on my Mandibuzz, as he is going to go for another one on the following turn, which does connect. Based on that damage, it doesn't look like another Draco Meteor would have been able to knock me out, but being able to hit the first one would have been nice. Would have forced me to go for the Roost and possibly gain him some initiative. Here, however, I'm going to go out into Snorlax and just start setting up curses, because there really isn't much on his team that can stop me. I didn't think he'd hard switch into Heracross, because then he'd be risking the para, and he'd be taking a good amount of damage onto that thing. And this allows me to get up to +3/+3 attack and defense, which is really, really nice, because now there's absolutely no way his Heracross can OHKO me. Even if he is banded, he'll be only doing about 50%. As you can see here, he is going to go for the close combat. He's actually Scarfed, not banded, so I'm going to be able to take even less damage from that. And then we are going to knock out the Heracross, which is really nice because that's one of the biggest threats to my team. He, however, is going to pull out some very good prep, as he actually ends up having Trick on his Bronzong, which is very, very smart, because I actually did this a while ago versus George in the GBA. The very last game of GBA Season 6, I played George. I brought Trick on my Bronzong in order to cripple a Snorlax, and he did the very same thing here. And it basically saved him this game at this point, because if he did not have Trick on his Bronzong, if he was just a normal, like, defensive Bronzong, my Snorlax actually just completely swept through his team, unless he crit me with something, or crit me multiple times with certain things, because Snorlax just ran a train through his team. So like I said, very good prep on his part, otherwise this would have beaten him entirely. I'm locked into Curse here, so I have to switch out, as he's going to pull a very good switch out into his Greninja as I go out into my Heatran. But actually, I'm okay with sacking my Heatran here. I don't have a great thing to switch into his Greninja anyway, so I'm just going to go for the Lava Plume here. Get a little bit of damage off on the Salamence, and here, expecting him to want to Roost or go for a possible Draco Meteor, expecting my Mandibuzz to want to go out again. I'm going to go for the HP Ice. He does go for the Roost, get a little bit of chip damage off onto him. Here, expecting him to go for an Earthquake, I go into Tapu Bulu. As he actually reveals the Hydro Pump, also would have hit my Heatran pretty hard. But here what I'm going to do is pull a double out into something else because I don't want to take a possible Fire Blast or even like a random HP Poison or an Iron Tail. So like I said, I am going to go out into my Zygarde, which is going to take in the Fire Blast or HP Poison relatively easily. And I'm going to make a little bit of a misplay. I'm going to switch out, and I'll explain why I switch out in a little bit. But I'm going to switch out into my Snorlax out on this Bronzong, and then what I'm going to do is just go for the Crunch. I figured because Choice Banded now, it'll be doing a lot of damage to whatever wants to come in. However, he sends in Mega Venusaur, which takes absolutely nothing from that Crunch, so unfortunately Snorlax is not going to be able to do much this game because he can always just switch into his Venusaur. Here he's going to pull a very good switch out into his Salamence, as I'm going to pull the switch back out into my Heatran. And what I'm actually going to do here is go for the Toxic because I expect him to go for the Roost, because he wouldn't want... he needs this thing healthy so that he can switch into Rocks one more time. So I'm going to go for the Toxic as he does end up going for that Roost, and then he's going to go for the Hydro Pump. I'm able to tank it because the Heatran's natural bulk, and then we're going to be able to knock him out with the HP Ice on the following turn, which is very, very nice for me because Salamence could have been a very big threat. Here's going to send in his Greninja, and I have no reason to keep my Heatran around, so I'm going to stack it, as he actually ends up going for the Spike, which I'm okay with because that Lava Plume damage 100% puts him in range of Zygarde's Banded Extreme Speed, which is very nice. So what I'm actually going to do here is go out into my Zygarde now, and then go for the Extreme Speed, hoping to pick off this Greninja, as he actually makes the good switch out into his Bronzong, and takes very little damage from that. However, I do have very reliable switch-ins to this Bronzong, and the biggest threat to his team now is actually my Reuniclus, because as soon as he loses his Victini, this Reuniclus can absolutely destroy his team. Like, it beats the Bronzong, it beats the Mega Venusaur, and it can even beat this Greninja, assuming I'm able to get a Calm Mind up, which is very nice. And that's actually what I'm going to go for here, because now Dark Pulse, if he's Sash or if he's Exocel, will not be able to knock me out at all unless he crits me. So he's going to go for the Dark Pulse. It's only going to do about 50% to me. I'm able to tank that, and then we're able to knock him out with the +1 Energy Ball. So now one of the biggest threats to my team is now gone. He's going to send out his Victini. I need my Reuniclus alive because it beats his team as soon as Victini's gone. I'm just going to sack off my Mandibuzz, which is useless at this point, and he's actually going to go for the Z Fire move, Inferno Overdrive, which was basically a boosted V-Create. Pretty interesting, definitely really cool. I think that's a 200 and something power fire move, which is really scary, but all it really did was take out a 12% Mandibuzz, so I'm able to waste his Z-Crystal for basically free, as now what I can do is go out into my Zygarde and get a kill. He's going to send in his Bronzong, and this is why it was a misplay switching out earlier versus this thing. I'm able to OHKO it with 1,000 arrows. I'll admit, I didn't exactly know how that worked. I know if I'm facing something like a Skarmory or a Celesteela, the first hit from 1,000 arrows is neutral, and then they're smacked down, and then I'm able to hit them super effectively. I thought with Levitate, it would work the exact same way, but it turns out 1,000 arrows just hits Levitate Mons like Bronzong super effectively right off the bat. So I didn't know that, my fault. He ended up being heat-proof because he actually did know that fact, but it wouldn't have mattered if he was Levitate regardless. I would have been able to hit him super effectively. So my fault, didn't know that, but now we know we can use that for future games. Here he's going to send out his Mega Venusaur. I can't knock him out with 1,000 arrows, so I'm going to go out into my Tapu Bulu on what I expect to be a Grass move, or a Synthesis, as he does end up going for the Synthesis. And all I need to do is hit this thing with a Banded Zen Headbutt to put it in range of my Zygarde's Banded Outrage, or if I sack this thing off, I can go out into my Reuniclus and click Recover. He's going to go out into his Victini, however. Not going to take a lot of damage from that Zen Headbutt. However, I do have the sack in my Snorlax, because again, Snorlax is banded. It's basically crippled, I'm not going to be able to set up with it, and his Venusaur is going to be able to wall me to death regardless, so he's going to go for the V-Create. Despite the -1 speed, he's easily going to be able to outspeed Snorlax, and then he's just going to knock me out with the Brick Break on the following turn, and then he's going to get a little bit of recovery from the grassy terrain. However, with the -1 defense, and with Zygarde's natural power, I'm going to be able to click Outrage here, and get a 2 KO on the incoming Mega Venusaur. As you can see here, I'm going to go for the Outrage. That's going to do a solid 47%, and even with the grassy terrain recovery on this turn, unless I get absolutely min-rolled, I will be able to knock out the Venusaur. As you can see, going to go for the Outrage, going to knock him out, and that basically seals up the game. I would have preferred to get a 3-turn Outrage. That way I wouldn't have to switch out my my Zygarde here and make it a 2-0 instead of a 3-0. However, we do get confused, and I'm not risking hitting myself. We're just going to go out into our Reuniclus, sack that thing off to the V-Create on this turn, and then we're going to go out into our Zygarde to pick off this Victini and beat Uzi and win the game 2-0. So as you can see here, Zygarde comes out, and I'm actually going to click E-Speed here in case he used like a random quick attack Victini and was able to kill me for some reason, and I knew Extreme Speed at -1 would have knocked him out anyway, so no point for me really to not go for it. But regardless, that was the game versus Uzi. Like I said, check him out in the description below. Once again, a couple apologies. I apologize that this game is a day late. I apologize that there's no team builder. I apologize that there's no draft analysis. We'll be covering a couple of those things in the Week 2 game. So hopefully I'll see you then. I hope you guys are excited for NPL Minors. We are looking to get promoted into the NPL. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Leave a like if you did enjoy, and I'll see you in the next video.